If you are a young man or a young lady even who is into the business of music, who loves music, who wants to be a musician, you're a young guy following God, trying to make music as someone who wants to do music full time, then stick around because this episode is for you. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Maybe I should call this the Chai Tea and Making Men podcast instead of just Making Men. Maybe that would be more interesting. Because today I have some wonderful chai latte and I have a microphone and we're going to talk about something that I don't usually talk about. And I think that will be very fun for everybody here, including me, because this is something that I like. So, for those of you who don't know, I am a musician. I haven't actually released anything yet, but I have a big fat catalog of songs I've been working on for many, many years. And what I do is I just record these songs, I write them, and then I haven't had a good recording setup for anything external outside of just the computer, other than like a MIDI input for a keyboard. For you musicians, you know what that is. But basically I could just record a piano straight into my computer, and that's been it for years and years and years. And so now I'm finally actually learning more about vocal production, about my own singing voice, and about how to make music that I can actually go and publish and go release. And so I want to do that more and more. And as I've been working with that, I've also been kind of playing with the idea that maybe this podcast is for some different people than who I've been making it for. Because this podcast, I started to be an outreach to people, but almost that makes it more of a ministry. And a lot of the times I see this difficulty with people where the guys that I want to help don't necessarily have the internal skills to be able to implement what it is I'm telling them. They need to go actually get therapy. They need to go get counseling and then come back and talk to me. Because I have the stuff that you need, and I have the stuff to help them get to where they need. I'm not a licensed counselor or professional or anything like that. But I've learned some actual legitimate stuff. I help the guys like this a lot of the time. They just don't always have the internal ability to listen and work through some of the things that they struggle with. And that's okay. That's totally okay. There's so many things that are really difficult and really challenging for all of us that we all need to go get through and get help with. But I've been playing around with this idea. And for those of you that remember the fiasco that was last summer, we're not going to do that again. All right. I'm not changing things on a dime. That was just funny to me. You guys need to go watch that episode because that was so funny. I can link it down below. But I don't do things quickly anymore, to say the least. And so I would love to just start talking to other musicians, other young guys like me who make music and who want to be musicians. Because here's the thing. I know so many of you guys. Personally, I'm friends with so many of you guys. And it's something I've thought about a couple times before, but not something I've ever taken the plunge into. Because I don't know. I just haven't. It's like I don't want it to be limiting so that other people won't listen to the podcast. But I'm playing around with this. So today, this episode is for you guys, the musicians who are already entrepreneurs, you're already businessmen. Maybe you just don't know it yet. Because can you guys can you see my dog in the background right now? She's right there. That's her. She's between the two plants. She loves to sit and just look out that window. It's so cute. Anyways, for those of you who can see, those of you listening, just imagine a fluffy, tiny little dog, white cream color, sitting on a table just inside of a big window. And she's making noise with her collar. Anyways, this is for you guys, the musicians, because you're already entrepreneurs, you're already businessmen, you're already just like me. And I think that's really cool because there aren't a lot of other people who I know who share similar interests and similar experiences to me and to what I do, what I have done in the past. And you guys have similar tastes and similar preferences, and your brain works similarly to mine, which I like. We all want to find people like that, right? So this episode is for you. What are we actually talking about this episode? We're going to talk about a topic that when I implemented into my life, it changed how I thought. And I did this back in high school. I was in like 9th grade or something, and I did this because this is how we think. This is how you and I think. You, the musician listening to this on the other side. You're younger, you're my age, you're not very old. I'm not very old. I'm older than people think I am, but not that old. You're like me, you're young, you're single, maybe you're married, maybe you're dating, but you are chasing after God. You're a Christian. You really want to make music for God, and you want to make music that's for you, that's yourself, that's your own self-expression as well. And so this is where we start doing that. This is something that I wrote down years ago, and it's just one simple line. I guess it's 2 lines, but here, it's treat your life like your business because it is. Treat your life like it is your business because it is. And that's twofold, and it's kind of funny. Firstly, treat your life like it's your own business because, yeah, man, your life is your own business. Get out of other people's businesses. Mind your own business. And secondly, life can be a business. We can live in a way where we are thinking in a way that provides way for us to overcome problems, overcome challenges, and get to where we want to go. Nic D is an incredible example of this, and I would actually love to have him on this podcast sometime. That would be fun. Tag Nic D in the comments, guys, and let's see if we can get him on here because he has been such a massive inspiration to me as far as his business mind goes. He started with cinematography, with cameras, and then he made music in high school, just like I did. He loved music before, but it wasn't what he was doing full-time, first off. How many of us know that experience? And then secondly, he was able to transition out of that and into making music full-time, and now he's one of the biggest independent artists in the world. Like, that is insane to me, and I love that. And so hearing him talk about the business side of music is really cool because that's not something I had heard before or something I understood. I was learning, but I knew labels and independent artistry as an entire thing, independent publishing for authors, independent podcast creators, independent musicians. It's a new wave and a new era of content and of the way that markets work. And so we need to learn those kinds of things. But it starts in our heads. It starts how we think about our lives and how we think about what we're actually doing in a day-to-day routine. A lot of us have to work jobs to be able to pay for our music, to be able to actually get it mastered, released, unless we do all of that ourselves. A lot of us do. Some of us are just producers. Some of us don't even sing. But no matter what, as young men in the music industry, in the music business, in wanting to create music for ourselves, we need a way to actually be supported. We need to have some sort of income. And so I know a lot of us have jobs, maybe even 2 or 3 jobs. We're doing multiple jobs because we're just out here trying to survive, trying to live, trying to make ends meet. And also then we're working overtime on the music. A lot of the time when I'm recording, it's in between. Music is the last thing on my plate of priorities, and that's sad to me. I want music to be there more. I want it to be consistent, but it can't always be that way. And so we all understand that struggle. The best way for any of us to start doing this is to change our mindset, to change how we think about this. Because as I've said before, as we've talked about before, your brain is a machine, and the problems that you give it are what it is going to try and solve. And so a lot of us already have a mindset. You don't even know this yet, but I want you to know this about yourself. If you are someone who wants to do music full time, you already have a mind that is different from so many other people. And there are other professions where it's like that as well. Authors are another great example. Athletes are also a good example. But for us as musicians, that's what we're talking about here today. And so know that you already are an outlier because I don't know anyone else local that actually started doing music stuff. I'm only just starting to find other people locally who are in music. It wasn't a big thing for a long time. And I had to go online to find the people who were in my group and community, in my tribe, and thought and wanted the same things that I did. And so we have that struggle. And that's something that we have to work on every single day and overcome. So the best way to start with that is to treat your life like it's your own business, because it is. Your life is your business, and it's also your business. Like, it doesn't matter how you reverse it, how you want to say it, because it implies the same thing either way. It's dualistic. We have our lives. They are our business. We need to mind our own business, attend to our own business, let other people work out their own business, and we also have to treat our lives in a way where we're saying, I am someone who is on top of things. I am showing up to the game every single day, even if it's just to watch and learn, and then practice implementing as I go. We don't have a lot of time to work on our music skills. We're busy. We have to work retail jobs. We have to work online. We have to work wherever we can find the work to get the money to come in to do the stuff. Personally, I don't have that problem to the same extent because I've stacked my skills and I have a very large ability online in the online world for other businesses because I've spent all of these years learning how to do this stuff because I've treated my life like it is a business. So I get to have the reprieve from that in a way that lets me be able to make more music when I want to. I don't have to have a rigid in-person timeline. I have a flexible timeline. There's still requirements every single week. There's still deadlines for me, but I get to work with other businesses and then take that time that would have been spent in store and bring it back to music because I'm flexible in my schedule more than if I were working a 9 to 5. And you know what? Not all of us have that. Not all of us are there yet. That's the kind of thing I could teach people how to do because I know how to do that. But that's not what I'm doing yet. And so I'm still living through this journey with you guys. I'm just doing it in my way as you're doing it in your way. And then we all come together and we're all doing it in the way that it has to get done as musicians. So there's this, it's a whole group. We are a community. We are a circle of people. And this is what we want to do with our lives. And so we need to be thinking about it in that way. So know first off, my whole point here is know first off that you already have a vision. You have a dream. You have a goal that you want to get to. You're a young man. You're a musician. You want to praise God through your music and talk about the things that are important to you with the specific, unique insights that you have into life and into God and who He is as a person. And we do that best through our music. And so we want to keep doing that. And then secondly, you have the ability to go further into this and say, I am treating my life like it is a business because I already have a mindset that is more like that than these other people who don't. And maybe you don't feel as connected or understood by the people around you in your immediate space. Maybe you have to come online to be able to find these people, just like I did. But I'm talking to you right now online. And so I would also love it if you would leave a comment down below. If you are a young Christian musician, if you're a guy or even a girl inside of this community, let me know because I would love to connect with you. And so all of this stuff is exactly what we need to be working on in our lives, remembering that we have what it takes to be the person we want to be, and then remembering that we still have a ways to go yet. We have a journey to go on. We have something for each one of us that we need to learn for ourselves personally, that God has to teach us, that will take us from where we are now to where we want to be. He withholds things from us until we are ready and capable to actually take care of them and to actually steward them in a way that we are not going to get caught up in, that we're not going to lose it, that we are not. He waits until we are ready. Sometimes He puts the pressure on. That happened to me recently. I will make this brief, but I had another expansion in my opportunities and in the work that I'm doing, and that was so much sooner than I thought it was going to happen. But it's amazing because it gives me more freedom now, and it's got so much potential now. But I didn't think that God was going to give me that yet, and I did not feel prepared. That's the thing. I was like, wow, you're giving me a lot really fast. I don't necessarily feel prepared for this. Like, how are you going to work? How am I going to work this out? But I have, and He's been with me the entire way. And so it's all wonderful, good things, but we need to remember that, hey, it is a journey. It does take time. But if we treat our lives like they are our business and we mind our own business, then we can take what we already have inside of the way we think and amplify that and grow it. We grow our strengths and we strengthen our weaknesses. And that takes us from the place of being where we are right now. We have to work the jobs in retail. We have to work the jobs in the mall. We have to work the jobs wherever, to now we're making music full time. A lot of it, the other half of that journey, is also just we need time to develop our craft. You have to figure out who you are as a musician. I'm still on that path because I've just been learning how to even do this stuff to begin with. And we all have to do that. And I've had no one to teach me how to do it. I've learned everything by myself. So that's just how it goes. And we all have our own version of that journey. So wherever you are now, just remember, you got this, you can do it. And I want to know if you are listening to this right now. That's my main point with this entire episode, just to put it out there, just to see what are you guys thinking about? What is the response to this? Do you want to have more content like this? Because it's something I can talk a lot more on, and that I think will be listened to and understood better by you guys than the other people, like I said, who this podcast would definitely benefit from, but they need to go to therapy first before they even watch this stuff, because otherwise it goes in one ear and it comes out the other, because they don't understand how to process it. And that's a sad thing to me, but that is a cultural problem just as much as it is a personal problem. So let me know. We are different. We have the ability to treat our lives like they are our own business. And so do that. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.